Okay, so this is the Xpeng X9, the brand new all-electric MPV from Xpeng. I'm Will, and this is China Driven. Now, we've got to be quick because we're filming here today at the Guangzhou Auto, so it's going to be a bit of a quick video. We'll take you around the new X9 and show you some of the key things about this brand new EV MPV. Now, MPVs seem to be very hot right now in China, and this is one of the hottest. The launch price of this was announced today. It's 388,000 RMB, so it's going into that kind of mid to high price segment here in China. Let's see how it gets on. Okay, so this Xpeng X9 is basically the top of the Xpeng model lineup, so it comes with all the bells and whistles at Xpeng's disposal. This is supposedly the only MPV in the world with rear-wheel steering as standard, along with double chamber air suspension and variable dampening as standard as well. This comes in two flavors, a single motor front wheel drive with 235 kilowatts or all-wheel drive with 235 kilowatts up front and 135 kilowatts in the rear. There's no word yet on acceleration, but this is an MPV, so it's not an important stat in this segment. But we do know that the top speed is 200 kilometers an hour. Okay, you have to excuse me for reading because we are very pushed for time. There are basically two batteries available for this model. For the all-wheel drive, you can have the 101.5 kilowatt hour lithium pack with a claimed range of 640 kilometers. Now, for the front wheel drive, there'll be two battery options, the same 101.5 kilowatt hour battery, but it will have a range of 702 kilometers. Or you can have a smaller 84.5 kilowatt hour LFP battery with a smaller range of 610 kilometers. So we expect that this price range will be somewhat broad, allowing entrance at different prices.
A sharp departure from Xpeng's usual smooth and sleek styling found on the G6, G9 and P7i. The P7, by the way, is still one of our favourite driving Chinese EVs, so be sure to check out our P7i video after this.
So back to the exterior of this X9, you know, the lightsaber bar is back and it's far more angular with a lot of kind of deep slashes and creases, puts it more in line with the P5 styling, which makes sense because like the P5, this is more orientated towards family rather than a kind of sporty disposition that you might find in the P7, the G9 and the other Xpeng products.
There's also this new interesting pattern in the lower front fascia, but have you ever seen a coupish MPV? Well, now you have.
Look at that crazy windscreen rate, 21 degrees of angle there, and I guess that's what helps against its drag coefficient of just 0.227, along with the completely flat side windows as well. Before it dives down at the back there, again, another 23 degrees of rake in the rear. It's definitely a very striking side profile. Also, you can see with those darkened A-pillars all the way around and a darkened glass, that roof really looks like it is just floating up on top. Okay, so back here you have that kind of light bar with the integrated tail lights as well, and Xpeng lettering in the middle. The size here also gives you the kind of idea of the functionality that this EV brings, and also that roof still looks like it's levitating even from back here with this kind of wraparound glass here in the rear. So the interior, you know what, it does actually remind me very much of the kind of P7, the G9. I can see the family resemblance finally in the Xpeng model lineup, especially with this central console with the dual 50-watt wireless charging. There is a new steering wheel with the logo offset. I actually think it looks really smart. The whole interior in here looks really nice. The seats, comfortable, heat, ventilation, massage, all that kind of good stuff that you would expect.
There's all the usual things you've come to expect in a text-focused Xpeng products. There's Xpeng's frankly fantastic voice assistant in every row, and on the top spec, you'll get super soft Nappa leather.
It's also got a rear view mirror up here, which is using a camera in the rear so you get an unobstructed view. But anyway, this is an MPV, so let's go check out the back.
Interior space is plentiful with a wheelbase of nearly 3.2 meters, so plenty of room for activities in the rear. Trunk space in this 7-seater is huge, claiming 755 litres with a third row up. Fold down those seats and into the trunk recess and you get a cavernous 2,554 litres. Third row space is plentiful and it's comfortable back there, as to be expected in a 7-seat MPV, not MPV. More on that later.
Okay, so Xpeng have this thing called XPEV, which is their kind of intelligent AC. And in here, they have what they say is 6,000 micro holes here in the rear. And what that allows is it to change the temperature in here without directly blowing cold or hot air on you. So people are more comfortable. Talking about comfort, this second row is massively comfortable. This is the top of the range model, so it gets what is called the zero gravity seats. And I have to tell you, they feel pretty damn good. There's a lot of seats that lie back, but these really do take the weight off. Yeah. Of course, it's also got spa massage, heat and ventilation, as you would expect. And on the lower models, the seats are a little bit narrower. These are very wide, but those narrower seats allow much easier access to the third row. But if you want ultimate comfort, then it's got to be this. You also get a 21.4-inch rear screen in here, and it's got up to 72 degrees of viewing angle. So no matter how you're laid down in the back of here, and you can, in some configurations of the car, completely lay flat the seats, with that 72-degree viewing angle, you can definitely get a good viewing experience in here. Pair that with the Dolby Atmos spatial audio system, the 23-speaker X Opera system in here, and you're gonna have an absolute superb viewing experience.
The star of the show in the ambient lighting department is the huge continuous light wrapping around the whole roof. 3.6 meters long is pretty spectacular.
Now, obviously, the Xpeng X9 will have access to Xpeng XNGP City and Highway. That's Xpeng's kind of ADAS suite. And we're actually going to try out XNGP City again tomorrow in the new G9, and we're quite excited about it because we already tried the XNGP City at the Xpeng G6 launch, but we've heard since we drove that back in July that things have got even better. So Xpeng have kind of been the people to beat in terms of ADAS features in smart EVs here in China for quite a long time, and even though the competition is heating up, Xpeng is not slowing down.
Although I've called this an MPV, according to Xpeng, it's not an MPV. This is a large 7-seater. Why the distinction? Well, Xpeng claim the X9 is more comfortable than a traditional MPV and drives better than a normal 7-seat full-size SUV. They say it's something new. However you define it, what Xpeng is offering is plush materials, high-tech features, arguably market-leading ADAS with 7 seats and a whole lot of room. Unsure how such a vehicle will be received in Europe, but for China, it could be a hit.
That's the brand new Xpeng X9 all-electric MPV. I'm Will, this was China Driven.